Hello, beautiful people. As you can see, I have a bit of a cold. That's why I have this red eyes and just getting over it right now. So forgive my appearance. Today, I want to talk to you about how to reach no thought in meditation, particularly in my practice of Zen meditation. And I wanted to share my experiences and tips and tricks for doing so. When we start in meditation, we start with our normal mind, the mind that we have the mind that we have had for many years without practice. There are a lot of thoughts. There's a lot of things coming up in our practice, which is fine, which is normal, which is a good thing. That's how we start. It's like cultivating a garden that has not been cultivated in years, maybe even decades. We cannot plant what you want on it right away, but we have to work on it, get rid of weed, rocks, and all the stuff before we can cultivate it and plant what we want. Same goes to our minds. When we start meditation, our mind wanders every few seconds all over the place. It's normal. It's normal and really it's something desirable because we know that we have an authentic practice. But as time goes by, we want to get into one of the stages of practice, which is called no thought. A little while ago, I was at a session, and it was a double session. So I finished one, had one day in between, and went to the second session. I don't really recommend it, but that's how things worked out with my timing. I had to pick up my car where it was parked. I had to fly there to pick up my car, and right the same day, 1 hour and a half from the airport there was a session going on where I had been before. So I decided to do a double session. And the reason why I mention it because immediately, obviously, I got deeper into my practice because I had just finished the session. And I think it was day two where there was a lot of thought coming up, unusually a lot of thought. And I became increasingly resentful. Your ego plays games with you, Machio plays games with you. And I was thinking, my God, I've been doing this for a year and a half now with Zen, and I've done that many years before other practices. Why isn't my mind all over the place? Why can't I just relax into my practice? And obviously, if you've been there, you know that the further you go that path, the worse things become. So after a short little while, I assessed the situation and realized that no, this is not the way to go. So I told myself, hey, listen, I'm happy with whatever I get. I'm happy with my practice is going well despite how it looks like at the moment. But I love my meditation practice. And even if I gain nothing from it except what I'm gaining right now, I'll be happy. And as soon as I let go of my struggle, things shifted and I got deeper into my practice. However, I don't know if it was the same day or the next day at 4 a.m. we sit for meditation and chanting. And as soon as we started chanting, there is a verse by the famous chant by Hakuin that says there's one phrase that really stuck with me. It says the chant is called the Song of Zazen by Hakuin Zenji. And the line was taking no thought as thought. And I thought to myself, how interesting is that? So that phrase really captured my attention. And during the chanting, I was thinking about it somehow. I couldn't really, was in the back of my mind. And at about 4:30 in the morning, we started doing our kinhin, which is the walking meditation. And I practiced it. I realized that that's what I had to do. So I let go of my thinking and would take no thought as thought. Where there were small sort of bubbles of not thinking, I would just focus on them and expand them longer and longer and longer. And somehow, when I gave up my struggle to reach no thought, I sank deeper and deeper in what seemed to be no thought. There were extended periods of not thinking, all of a sudden, after a lot of practice, obviously. And it expanded, and I still remember just walking the cold wooden deck of the deck where we're doing our walking, the cool air, the birds started to chirp. Well, just before dawn, even it was still pitch black outside, And it was just amazing. I was not thinking at all for extended periods of time. And then I sat for meditation afterwards. And again, there would be thoughts here and there, but to a large extent, there was no thought really. And it was amazing. Not all the time, obviously, but longer than I had ever experienced before. And then we had breakfast a few hours later, and then we went for the work practice. And again, I was surprised as I sat down pulling weeds in the garden. There was no thought thinking. All throughout my meditation practice, whether sitting, walking, or working, there would be just that moment, that extended moment that would just go on for a long period of time, it seemed. And it was wonderful. I had not experienced that before, I don't think. And so I wanted to share a few pointers on that. If you are struggling with your thinking mind at the beginning, I would love to share that with you, those tips and tricks. The first thing is to let go of the struggle. I know, as I mentioned, we practice for such a long time and then we want results, but really it is good to have faith in what we're doing and let go of those that chasing. You don't want to chase it. It's like trying to chase a cat. It will run away, but when you sit quietly and do your thing, the cat comes up, approaches you instead. The same thing with entering no mind, no thought, sorry. No mind comes much later. But it's just important to let go of a struggle. And as my teacher told me afterwards, do not chase the no thought. Don't chase it, just be open to it. And so it is important to let go of our attachment to each anything in our practice. If thought comes, we just see it, observe it, and let it go, like clouds in the sky, like weather changes. We don't get attached to them, we just observe it, experience it, and let it go. So that's the most important thing. And as soon as I let go of my struggle, things shifted in my practice during that session. The second thing is to sort of see those moments of no thought as like small sort of bubbles. And it's like you're sitting in those moments of no thought and just becoming aware of them, open to them, and increasing your awareness with them. You kind of, it's like sitting in a bubble and expanding that bubble. So those moments of no thought become longer and longer. And it's like one big bubble attaches to another bubble, to another bubble. And then you have this big sort of space of no thought at all. So there are always moments of no thought in our practice. The important thing for me was to just focus on it, and when I notice it, just sit with it. Sit with that moment of no thought, and as you sit with it without really doing anything, that moment of no thought expands and expands and expands, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a great thing. The other thing I wanted to say is, again, it's a part of non-attachment, but it is very, very important to not get attached to things. I don't know how many times I sit down and the last thing I want to do is to do meditation, whether in a session or by myself. You just do not want to do it, and you just feel so negative about it, and you have this always resistance. Maybe not everybody has them, but I sure have had them and still do. And what is more amazing is that how quickly things can change. Literally, I was talking to my teacher during the last session, and I said, I can't believe it. I sit down and it's like the biggest resistance I can have, and I work with it, and all of a sudden it's the best meditation practice that I have. So sometimes before we see the results of our deep practice, there's this wave of resistance, maybe in the form of negativity, in the form of sensations, in the form of doubt. But the important thing is not to be distracted by them and just focus with what you're doing. Not any more of what you're doing, not any less of you're doing. If you have to do the felt sense, I would suggest just doing the felt sense. If you're doing just a meditation, just sit with your meditation. But just be persistent, because persistence is really what brings the results. It's not like heroism, trying to do your best, staying up all night, which is good sometimes, but it's just persistence of a long extended period of time. Something that my teacher calls the long maturation. That's from Tori Angie Hakuin's Dharma successor. Yeah, that's all it takes really. And during the session, I had a big shift in my practice. I entered no thought for a long period of time, and it was an amazing thing. As my teacher told me, says don't chase it, don't really look for it, just continue your practice, and that's what I've been doing. Be patient; the results will come. Think about it. How many years you've worked in your life? 20 years, 30 years? How many times you did not get paid for it, if at all? Very rare. It's maybe 0.0001% of the time. So if we practice properly with the right teacher, right teaching, results will come. Anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you have an amazing week ahead. And again, if you have any questions and comments, let me know. Talk to you next time.